should be good. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2. Oops. We're just out for our morning walk and we got a failure. He's saying I need 1.875. I don't know if we're going to find that exact sizing, but that's what he came up with. He got my caliper out.
Where'd you get that?
Oh my gosh, this came from Leanne. You know Leanne.
I've heard you talk about her.
Yeah, she is very supportive of us. Do you think this is true that he's my boss?
Absolutely.
It's not the other way around.
No, for sure. Everything you do is geared towards his comfort.
Yeah, I would have to say guilty that I let him kind of. I don't want to say he right. Okay, we should be good. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2. Oops. Screw it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Is that right? Oh, this is an audio test. Sorry. Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope y'all are doing great today. Behind you, the breeze coming in the window. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. You know, we went through a heat wave here in Western New York where we were in the low to mid 90s for a chunk of days. And then that broke the other day. We had a really windy day. We didn't get any rain, but it was a windy day, and it pushed all that hot, humid air somewhere else. And we got cool, very low humidity, and that's what we're enjoying right now. So for me to have the window, I mean, wide open, with this beautiful breeze coming in, it's 10 a.m.-ish, and it's just a beautiful day. Clouds are coming and going, big white puffy clouds. But, you know, there's always a but when it comes to weather. I was trying to think of a joke to throw in there, but I can't come up with one fast enough. We have some disastrously hot weather on the way here, even more muggy and humid, and that's on the way. So I'm taking advantage of this beautiful weather right now. Windows open, breeze coming through. Lefty's been sitting over there with his nose on the windowsill. It's the perfect height. When he sits there, he can just kind of lay his head right on the windowsill and just, you can hear him just like inhaling the whole neighborhood's worth of breeze and smells and everything. So he's loving it too. So today's video, mishmash of a lot of different clips. I filmed a ton when we first arrived here in New York, and I haven't shown a lot of that to y'all. So I wanna put some of that in front of you. You know, just like I have shown you some, like, you know, the first day, you remember Lefty went bonkers and did the zoomies and tore up that bag, and you know, that was like day one when I was putting the sheets on the bed. That was the first day we were here. So y'all have seen that. You know, he was so excited to be here, just like I was. And, you know, we've gone through a lot of troubles here. And one thing that I have come away with is, let me back up. Who's guilty of taking a family member for granted, right? Who's guilty of doing that? I am done. I am so lucky to have my mom and the support that she gives us with everything that she's going through. Grandma was AC and Dalen's babysitter all the time while Linda and I were working. Mom, you know, had a lot of years together with AC, and then now with Howard passing, she picked up his cremains the other day. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. She brought those here in the house, and she put them on the kitchen counter, and she was doing some other stuff, and we're kind of talking, not at each other, but just kind of talking as she was milling around the kitchen. And I found myself, I had my hands on the cremains box, and I realized I was kind of stroking, you know, holding the box and rubbing it like, I don't know. It was just, you know, it was, I miss Howard. I miss him. You know, I miss him. This whole experience for me at 60 years of age, you would think that I've been through this kind of stuff before, but I haven't. I haven't lost close family members. Linda's family is so big, so many sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, aunts, grandma. I mean, just an immense number of family members. And so, in the years that her and I were together, she lost people. She lost her brother, but I think I met him once, so I didn't really know him. She did lose her mom, and I knew her mom over the years. That was sad. I remember certain pieces of things, and sometimes they're funny. And I remember, I left my job that day to come into the city to go to the service for Linda's mom. Bertha was her name. We called her Bert. I got there and everyone was outside and I found Linda. So I'm standing talking with Linda and all of a sudden I feel something yanking on my sleeve. It was Linda. She was snapping the tag off of the blazer jacket that I had bought just to come to the services. So she had my back basically. She kind of came up behind me closely and just snapped it off without anybody seeing it or realizing it. And, that was Linda, right? She had my back. I remember Bert's services, but I've never had this kind of loss happen to me at 60 years old, and it's thrown my internals into a turmoil. Kind of my emotions are, I've shed more tears in the last 2 months than I think I have my entire life, honestly. And I everyone is feeling better. Mom is, she just had only a couple of moments of sadness that I've seen, and so I've decided. Her and I were talking just yesterday. I came downstairs to talk to her because I told her that I was what I was doing was I was asking if it was okay with her that I stayed here until like the middle of September. I decided that I'm not leaving here until I know she's in a good place. And so I packaged that in, hey mom, I still have a lot of stuff I want to do on the rig. I'm behind on my schedule on doing that stuff. So if it's okay, I'd like to stay until, mid-September. And she said that, whatever you want to do is just fine. Maybe she figured out that the reason that it's not because of the projects on the rig, it's because I want to stay here and be with her and I don't want to leave. And she's going to see this video, so I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, Mom. I want to be sure you're solid and ready for me to leave. And I can't tell you how thankful I am that I was here when this took place, when Howard passed. And a few people have commented that Howard was waiting for me to come back before he let himself go. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know that it's fact, but it makes a lot of sense. Him knowing that I'm here to have Mom's back and take care of her allowed him to stop the fight and let me step up and take care of Mom. I thank you all for letting me vent and be emotional and talk about all of these things, because as I said, I'm not a professional at this. I've never been through this before, and I have kind of the world's greatest conduit in that I have thousands of you out there that understand many of you that have been through nearly identical things that I'm going through. So you have a great understanding of my position and how I'm feeling. So I am very lucky to have all of you as a sounding board, and I've thanked you so many times, and I'm going to continue to do it until you're tired of hearing about it. But I'm sorry. I thank you all for being here for me and for my family and for Dalen and for Mom and caring for Howard and AC and Linda and Candace, everyone that's been affected by the goings on here. I thank all of you for everything that you've done to keep us moving forward. Okay. All right, this is going to be changing gears, okay? So this right here, one of you messaged me asking for the brand of the new portable toilet that I have. Porty Toity is what I'm trying to come up with a short name for it. So this is the Ann Katie portable toilet that came from Leanne. Thank you, Leanne. Very highly supportive of us. And that's where the Ann Katie came from, was from Leanne and her, how she listens to the things that I'm talking about in the videos. And a lot of you do the same thing. Paul and Nancy with the key tags, which I'm proud to say, hold on right there. So I have applied the second set that they sent me. They fit. I'm going to show you some here, video clips where I had a little failure on another project that I was working on. I was so proud, and you know us DIYers, you can have such high peaks when something you're working on works out perfect, but you can also have the fail, right? So I got one of those to throw in here on this clip. And the reason this is up here is because I decided that before I totally get rid of the bucket and the lid, the toilet seat and lid combo, that I need to take this thing for a dry run. And it's not actually, well, I don't know. I'm going to test it before. Gosh, I hope it's not a dry run. I'm going to test this before I totally get rid of the other kit, and before we hit the road. Because this, if everything works out as it should, this is so great compared to the 5-gallon bucket with the lid from a storage standpoint. And this is actually supposed to be more comfortable, higher off the ground, better to use. And so I'm going to test it out, and just to make sure before I totally get rid of the other stuff. So enjoy today's video. A lot of it's just a lot of clips of a lot of stuff and me doing project, and I hope y'all enjoy it. And yes, there are now 2 screens behind me. I will talk about that at a later date because we got something cooking. Boy, do we have something cooking. Okay, we are, boy, is it hot out here. We have yesterday an air quality warning because of some Canadian fires, and the smoke is coming down this way. So yesterday we were actually in the really bad range, minimal outdoor, no outdoor activities that required heavy breathing. So I'm just driving up here because it's almost 4 o'clock, and I just realized I've got to drop off this package to the post office, the prize there, the Renogy solar blanket. And, the post office closes at, I'm guessing, 5 o'clock. I don't know, but it's 9 minutes to 4, so hopefully they're still open now. Who knows, government office, they might close at 2 p.m. and go home. There's Interstate 90. the New York State Thruway. So I've got the box behind me. It's all packaged and labeled and ready to go. So I just got to walk in the door and drop it off. I've tried to teach Lefty how to do it, except I need to buy stamps, and they won't accept a credit card from a dog, they said. You know, I tried. I just taped it to his nose, and they rejected him and sent him back out to the car. So, okay, puppy. Oh, I gotta put the windows up, and I'm gonna leave the car running with the AC on full blast, max AC, and there you go. Okay, puppy, I'll be right back. Okay, be a good boy. I'll be right back. Such a good boy in the car. They did not have my Freedom stamps, but they had, these were close. I like the Freedom ones because they say Freedom right on them. But I'll use these for now, and then, because they still showed them on their custom stamps. You know, if I try a different postal location, it's very possible that I might find them there. So I'm going to actually try some of the other post office in the area. We'll find them, right, Buckwheat? We'll get them. Yeah, it is hot. And like cold air doesn't do anything to the dog, you know, like it does for us. What are you sniffing? He always has to sniff, like, you know, because I come out of a store or something with a whole bunch of smells attached to me. So he has to give me the once over all the time. Okay, let's go back to Grandma's, okay? I actually woke him up to come and take this ride with me. He was sound asleep on my bed, just absolutely sound asleep. Can you see that? Yeah, that's what we got today. And it's a little hazy. Yesterday was really bad. They showed a time lapse of a camera that they have mounted that kind of looks out over all of downtown Rochester, and it did a time lapse of the day and all the haze, and it wasn't clouds, it was smoky, hazy air, and that's why we had the warning there for air quality. It was pretty bad yesterday, so it's not as bad today, but it is hot. This is my now famous audio test that we've all come to know and love. Testing. Can you see me? We're doing the Vogue, right? I've got items on the bench. I'm going to talk about them. You need to be able to see me do that, see my face ideally, and hear my voice. Okay, this is number 2. I was slightly cropped off. I was not Vogue in the last one. So now I should be, I'm gonna work on this stuff with bad hips so I can't bend over. Not bad hip, bad butt muscle. Let me be clear about that. Today what we're gonna do, it's a magic trick. I'm gonna do the shell game down here and y'all are gonna try to beat me at it. Okay, got smarter. Moved the bench back 18 inches or so. Now you should be able to see my full height, width, the items on the bench for the clamshell game, and you should be able to hear me, microphone, receiver, camera, it's all good. Okay, let's get at it this morning. So we've got rain. We had a couple of sprinkles this morning, so Mom is packing up some items in her car that she's taken over to the church rummage sale. She's getting rid of some things. Lefty is sitting in the passenger seat for some reason, just to keep her company in the car. And so I've got something that I wanted to do before we get a lot of rain. So you know that we talked about these rubber caps that do not have beads in them. Remember we did the shake test. And we're not playing the clamshell game. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you there. So what I'm gonna do, I have my heat gun. I'm gonna heat these up if it was a nice sunny day, I would just lay this out in the sun, but it's overcast, not really super hot, just very humid. So I'm going to heat it up with the gun. I've got some PB Blaster that I'm going to use as an internal lubricant so that this should slide down over that hydraulic jack that's on my bike carrier. I went out there the other day and I put it on, and it went on about 1/4 of an inch, and after that it became very difficult, which is kind of exactly how I wanted it. You know, the top of the jack is beveled in a little bit, so it went on easily and then kind of came to a stop, and I was, you know, doing a little twisting motion, and it will go on there, I'm sure, with just a little bit of heat and a little bit of lubricant on the underside of it. So I'm going to go out there to the back. I'm going to bring y'all with me. First, I'm going to dry the jack all off real good because we did get a few sprinkles. I'm going to spray the PB Blaster on there just as a slipper so that this slips on easier. And then, unfortunately, I don't feel like plugging in my gigantic 100-foot-long extension cord, so I'm going to run up here and heat this thing up right up here and then come running back to where y'all are with this preheated with some gloves on, and then we're going to see if this doesn't just slip right onto that jack. So let's get this over with and get her done. Okay, so here's our work area today. So you're probably not going to see much of me, but this is the item that we're talking about putting this cap over. So it's actually not, it didn't rain enough to really put any moisture on here. So you can see how I have this, you know, these are adjustable. This is a screw in and out plug here, and that height that it's at right there is pretty much exactly what it takes for it to mate up with the bike carrier here. There's a cup right up in here that this mates up into, and if I didn't have it extended that 3/16 of an inch, it wouldn't have enough lift to bring the carrier all the way up to its lock position that it's in right now. So it does need to be adjusted up that little bit. And so I'm going to see if I can leave it in that position and then cap it. And boy, that looks a lot smaller today. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Look at me, I'm stretching it. I'm using the 4-finger stretch technique. I am going to heat it up. I haven't heated it yet. So again, the top of this, you can see how it kind of curves in. So that first little bit, it goes right on. You see that? And you see how it's actually, it's having to curve out to meet the OD of this jack. So, you know, I might have been better off getting a little bit larger, but there's not a ton of different sizes of these, but I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I would have found one. As long as I can get it on far enough to get a hose clamp around it, then I'll be fine. That's all we need to do. So I'm gonna put a little bit of PB on here. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe it. It doesn't need a lot, you know, just enough for a little bit of lube. No jokes. Okay, now I'm gonna just go up. You're not gonna see me heating it up. Again, I didn't want to run my extension cord all the way out here. So I'm gonna run up there, and I'm just gonna heat this thing for, you know, just a couple of seconds really. I don't want to overdo it and end up with a puddle of black mush. So I'll be right back. Oh, I'm running. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. And now it's going to cool and actually retract and shrink right onto there. We are geniuses. Are we not? Look at that. And I'm seeing, I'm seeing probably 3/4 of an inch of space where I can put a hose clamp where it's flat and it'll bite perfectly flat. Outstanding. So I just heated it with the heat gun, and then as I was coming out here, I was pulling and stretching it out. And when I slid it down on here, you probably couldn't hear it from up here, but it went like it was releasing the air. I'll call it politely. It was belching the air out that was trapped in it because it fits on there very, very snugly, obviously. So now let me go dig out a hose clamp. I do believe I have some that will fit that diameter. This thing is a, I think it was a 1 3/4 inch diameter. It's in my notes. I don't recall what I think. 1 3/4 inch is what I ordered for these caps. Nice tight fit. Let me go find a hose clamp and we can call this done. Okay, I have 2 hose clamps of different width. They're both brand new. They still have tags on them. Well, at least this one does. I remember buying these for some project and then ended up, you can see the difference in the width. So either one of these is going to be fine. I just don't know if they're going to fit. Yeah, see that one? I think it's too small. Shite. Come on. Come on. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me go get my hand drive my screwdriver bit holder. I've got my bit driver. One of you sent me this a few years ago, and I have used this thing on so many projects. It's funny, I get tools sent to me sometimes, and I'm like, how did I do stuff without this tool? You know, and this is going to fit. Okay. I think life is getting really good right about now. When something comes together like this, perfect. I get so happy. Any of you that are tinkerers, DIYers, you know how it feels when something goes right like this. That's on there. This cap is, I don't think, ever going to come off of there. I have to take it off every time I'm going to load or unload the bike. I think once this thing is on here for a period of time, it's going to get memory and it's going to remember that it's supposed to be that diameter. It's not going to shrink back up, in other words, when I take it off. It's not like I'm loading and unloading the bike like every day, you know. It's infrequent, and each time I do it, I'll figure out a better and better way to do it. If I end up needing to order this cap in a little bit larger OD, then that's what I'll do. I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think we have it all figured out here. So if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to call this complete, this little project here. So this is now safe from the weather. I think that I just may have increased the lifespan of this jack tremendously. Thank you all for being here with me on this little fix-it session. I am so happy. So happy. We're just out for our morning walk, and we got a failure. We got a failure. I looked over and I could see a red stripe, and I knew something was wrong immediately. So Lefty came over and checked it out, and he confirmed, sure enough. So, I mean, I need to go and look at what size did I order, and hopefully we can find a size that's just a little bit up. He's saying I need 1.875. I don't know if we're going to find that exact sizing, but that's what he came up with. He got my caliper out and measured it up, measured the OD of the jack. So it's just too tight, and so it went through a night, you know, of contracting and expanding, and this is what happened. This is what I found this morning. It's a real shame because it really went on there. Like OJ. Well, yeah, it's kind of like OJ in the glove. Kind of fit, but didn't really, I guess, in the long run. I'm going to go hit the Amazonian jungle shopping network, and we're going to see if we can find a solution to this thing ASAP, because, you know, and this is part of these fix-it DIY stuff. You get a victory, you get a defeat. So we're still going to end up winning this thing with the best. You know, I've got the best supervisor in the world. He's checking the door. The weather seals on the door jams. See, he checks everything over. So we're going to end up winning on this one. Oh my gosh, is it hot out there today? Look at me.
Oh, I love that shirt. Where'd you get that?
Oh my gosh, this came from Leanne. You know Leanne.
I've heard you talk about her.
Yeah, she is very supportive of us. Do you think this is true that he's my boss?
Absolutely.
It's not the other way around.
No, for sure. Everything you do is geared towards his comfort.
Yeah, I would have to say guilty that I let him kind of. I don't want to say he rides over top of me, but I let him get away with a lot of stuff. He's only here for a shorter period of time than I am, so I let him kind of do his thing sometimes. But Leanne wanted to do a shirt, and so she asked me to see if I had any photos that I thought would work well. So I found this one. This is from when we were in Colorado, like the Turtle Rock area. I can tell by the background here. And we were out on the rocks, which is like his favorite thing to do, is, you know, walk around on those cliff rocks, right? And just that picture of him like looking over his shoulder at me, like, you know, waiting on me to hurry up and climb up there. So I threw it in a little frame I made real quick and then sent it over to her. And I don't know where she got it produced at, but it came out really well. It's done in really high quality. The colors are good. So
yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, Leanne, thank you. I think I've thanked her before in emails, but I wanted to thank her now that I'm talking about it in person. It's a great, great shirt. It's a little bit wet right now because it's really, really humid outside, but it's standing up to it. It'll be fine. It's been washed a couple times already, and it still feels just as good as the first day we got it.
It looks good. It's very clear print.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very good. My boss. Okay, well, I just looked at the weather forecast. Today it's like 70 for a high. So today's Sunday. So we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going into the mid-90s for a few day stretch. Then we're going into a 5-day in a row rainstorm system. So it's going to be from in the 70s up into the 80s, few days in the 90s, and then 5 days of rain, and that's where the 10-day forecast stopped. So it's a varied and extreme weather system. And yes, one of these days I am going to get my hair cut. I've been purposely growing it very long. I'm sure you've noticed. I usually have my head kind of shaved, but I've been working on a plan, and it ideally involves my daughter and a set of trimmers, but she's balking at the idea of shaving her dad's head. So I don't know if it's going to work out, but that's my plan. I thought, gosh, what better time, what better use of my time here in New York with my daughter than to have her trimming my hair. I thought it would be so great. She's done it before. We've done hair trimmings. I've cut my own hair out when we've been camped. Just looking in the mirror, I get my trimmers out, and I've done it before. The thing is with hair, it always grows back. So on a guy like me, if things go wrong, just shave it, trim it all down, and it'll come back. It'll grow back, and it grows back like if you make a really bad mistake, within 2 weeks, it's fixed itself magically. My idea that I have for the hair, I'm not going to tell you what it is, only that it involves me, my hair that's been growing long, my daughter, and a set of trimmers. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. So now he's had his snacks, he's had his first whizzer walk, and now we take a little break while he usually lets me finish most of my coffee, and then we go out for a real WALK. I have to say that quiet because he knows how to spell. So we're in that middle wait period right now between SNACKS and WALK. Look at this lazy dog. Oh my goodness. So he's had his morning walk, his hot meal with fresh chicken mixed in with his kibble. He's had his hip and joint supplements. They go in the morning meal, in the warm meal. And this is his after breakfast little nap he gets in, especially when I'm on the computer. He knows, once I jump on the computer, he just takes a nap. This is his truck pillow that Mom has restuffed. Look at this thing now. This is like world's best dog pillow. It is so much more packed with stuffing that I think he's super gonna enjoy it. So he called me down here really quick because he said he wanted to get on today's video, even if it was just to say goodbye and have a good day. So yeah, you smell my mouthwash that I just used? Yeah. So from the both of us, everyone take care, be safe, and we'll see y'all again really soon. Say goodbye to all the folks right up there. Right up there. There they are. Oh, what? You didn't want the kisses? Huh? You didn't want the kisses? Okay. Oh, well. What would I do without this guy? Oh, my gosh. Okay. I'll leave you alone. He was crashed when I started down the stairs. I woke him up. Oh boy. Okay. Go back to your sleepies, okay?